Hi, my name is Sebastian. I'm CEO and co-founder of FULSTACKS. We at FULSTACKS are a file spectrum digital service provider, and we have a long history and a friendship with our valuable partner OpenNebula. In brief, we are friends. And I'm really happy that another friend of mine is today here on the virtual stage for OpenNebulaCon2022. His name is Patrick Martins. Patrick and me has a very long history in working together with many professional and very successful OpenNebula projects. And he's here today to talk about his insights and how to use OpenNebula in an enterprise to gain significant values with OpenNebula. Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference. Paddy, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sebastian. Hi, my name is Patrick Martins, and before I start with my slides, I will give a big thank you to the whole OpenNebula team for the support in the past and for having the chance to be today here to give you an overview how we see it, FULSTACKS, the modern enterprise with OpenNebula. I will start with my slides. Have fun. We have prepared a short agenda for today. First of all, we will start with use cases for the edge with OpenNebula Private Cloud. Why we use OpenNebula for this? We will give you an answer on this question. The next one is to show you deployments based on infrastructure as code with Terraform for private clouds and Kubernetes in our lab. And what do you get with OpenNebula? Yeah. And the last one is to give you an outlook and a vision for more enterprise stuff in OpenNebula. Stay tuned for that. And let's start. Use case for OpenNebula edge computing. Well, first of all, let's have a look on which compute locations do we have. Yeah. We have the traditional compute location as it was in the past. That means our on-premise or core data center compute location, where we have the classical and legacy application landscape. In the middle, our cloud as compute location, where buzzwords like cloud native, lift and shift, scalability, distributed applications, and customer-facing apps are provided. And on the right side, our edge, the topic we want to talk today more in detail. The edge is mostly an area which is confronted with high requirements to satisfy the need for public, defense, IoT workloads, different other industrial workloads, and maybe think much easier at 5G networks, which provides us the mobility for the future. And what does that free compute locations or that different application landscapes have together? That today the most workloads are containerized applications or microservices. And yes, of course, containers and microservices also need what? Yeah, exactly. They need infrastructure. And the infrastructure, as we know, compute, network, and storage, also known as infrastructure as a service. But what is missing at the end? We are missing a layer of abstraction. Yeah, let's call it a virtual edge infrastructure service abstraction layer. Now let's bridge the gap to OpenNebula. Why we use OpenNebula for that? OpenNebula provides us a virtual abstraction layer, as mentioned before. OpenNebula runs everywhere without complexity and with maximum openness. This is the reason why we have been so successful doing compute projects with OpenNebula for years. Okay, OpenNebula, we all agree. Private cloud, yes, but in the edge. Absolutely. And why? Because there has been a lot of involvement in the past. Let's have a quick view on the project side of the One Edge project. There are many use cases or description for use cases how to use OpenNebula and the Edge, and we will focus today on one use case, that is Kubernetes as a service in the Edge. Let's come to our lab. So I don't want to bore you more with boring theory and slides. But first of all, before starting with our lab, let's have a look on the workflow, what we will do there. We have a Git repository. Also, this is public for you if you are interested to have a look on. I can share this at the end. And if there are any questions, just feel free to reach out to me or to my colleagues. This is a Terraform module where we will build VMs within our Edge based on the OpenNebula virtual infrastructure as a service abstraction layer. And within these three VMs, we will build an RKE cluster, Kubernetes cluster, and install via Helm chart a Rancher management cluster for using that in the Edge. Okay, let's start. First of all, we will build or do a Terraform apply that will build our VMs in our OpenNebula. That means that is our virtual edge cluster or abstraction cluster. And if these VMs are ready, we will install RKE Kubernetes cluster within these VMs. And after that, we will install with a Helm chart the Rancher management cluster. And when this is finished, I will log in to show you that this worked. Let's have a look. Login was successful. And if we are now show the local cluster, there will be our 3 nodes, which we deployed a few seconds before. Okay, that was enough, all from our lab, and hopefully enough for you. If there are any questions, as I mentioned before, this is a public repo on our GitHub. Just feel free to contribute, or if there are any questions, just feel free to reach out to us. The next agenda point, we want to get just in brief, what do you get with OpenNebula? With OpenNebula, you get democratization of your IT resources. With OpenNebula, you get freedom of and independence of your IT infrastructure. And last but not least, you get freedom of choice. In the last point, we want to give you a little outlook and vision how we can together make OpenNebula a little bit more enterprise capable. The idea was born when we talked with our infrastructure partner Advanced Unibyte, also called AU. Advanced Unibyte is a system integrator company for NetApp and Cisco infrastructure located near to Stuttgart, Germany. One thing in advance, AU loves the FlexPod. For those who don't know the FlexPod is a converged system stack of Cisco network and compute infrastructure and NetApp storage systems. However, one thing is missing from the FlexPod. It works, and in our opinion, it is the best converged solution on the market. The FlexPod has lost its sexiness, and we want to make the FlexPod sexy again. How can we achieve this? OpenNebula brings everything for, I will say, the enterprise customers, which they are not able to use with a normal FlexPod. Yeah, the normal FlexPod comes with Cisco ACI network, for example, NetApp storage, and Cisco UCS compute systems. But there's often a lack of self-service, API, or CLI. Yeah, and that's the layer that we want to implement. Is this virtual infrastructure as a service abstraction layer equipped with deeper integrations into the FlexPod, so that we, for example, are able to provision a Cisco ACI software-defined network, or to provision a NetApp ONTAP system from OpenNebula directly. I'm at the end of my presentation. I will thank you for attending, and if there are any questions, just feel free to reach directly out to me or to my colleagues from FULSTACKS, and enjoy the conference. Have fun. See you. Bye bye.